Most people go through life believing they are limited by their circumstances, their background, or their abilities. They accept the invisible chains that hold them back, not realizing that these chains are self-imposed, created by fear, doubt, and the limitations they've allowed others to place on them. The truth is that everyone is born with unlimited potential, yet far too many fail to tap into it because they're unaware of the power they hold within themselves. In the beginning, we are all blank slates, brimming with possibility. The potential to become great is already inside us, waiting to be realized. However, as we grow older, we encounter obstacles. Society's expectations, the pressures to conform, the voices that tell us we're not enough. Slowly, we begin to believe these external forces, and before we know it, we've accepted limitations that were never truly ours to begin with. We allow the opinions of others, the disappointments from past failures, and the fear of the unknown to chain us to a life far smaller than what we are capable of living. Breaking free from these chains begins with recognizing that most of these limits are mental constructs. They are thoughts, beliefs, and narratives that we've adopted over time. Imagine a bird in a cage that has been conditioned to believe it cannot fly. The cage might not even be locked anymore, but the bird stays in its confined space because it believes it is incapable of freedom. Similarly, we often stay in our comfort zones, confined by beliefs that we aren't strong enough, smart enough, or worthy enough to achieve greatness. The truth is, the cage is open, and all it takes is the courage to step out. Once we recognize that we are not defined by our limitations, the next step is to release the grip those limitations have on us. This requires a shift in mindset. It means choosing to believe in possibilities instead of focusing on obstacles. It's about having the courage to dream big, even when the world around you tells you to be realistic. It's about understanding that the only limits you truly face are the ones you place on yourself. When you decide to rise above all limits, you embark on a journey of self-discovery. You begin to uncover strengths and abilities you didn't even know you had. You start to see opportunities where others see roadblocks, and you learn that failure is not the end, but simply a stepping stone to success. It's in pushing beyond your limits that you find your true potential, and once you've broken free from the chains, nothing can stop you. Remember, breaking these chains isn't an overnight process. It's a journey. But once you make the decision to challenge the limits you've accepted, you unlock a version of yourself that is unstoppable. You begin to live a life filled with purpose, ambition, and the freedom to become the person you were always meant to be. The power of mindset cannot be underestimated. It is the foundation upon which all success is built. The difference between those who rise above their limits and those who remain stagnant lies not in their circumstances, but in the way they perceive and respond to those circumstances. The mind is the battleground where victory or defeat is determined. It is in our thoughts that we either empower ourselves or limit our potential. When you adopt a mindset that refuses to accept limitations, you are essentially setting yourself on the path to greatness. Too often we allow external factors, whether it's the opinions of others, past failures, or societal expectations, to shape the way we think about ourselves and what we can achieve. We become trapped in a mental cage of negativity, self-doubt, and fear, convinced that we are not capable of more. But this is a lie. Your mindset is the one thing you can control, and it has the power to transform every aspect of your life. To rise above your limits, you must first change the way you think. You must choose to believe in your own potential, even when everything around you suggests otherwise. The people who achieve extraordinary things in life are not necessarily the most talented or the most fortunate, but they're the ones who maintain an unwavering belief in themselves and their abilities. They choose to see challenges as opportunities to grow, rather than as insurmountable obstacles. A positive, empowered mindset allows you to view setbacks not as failures, but as learning experiences. Each mistake becomes a lesson, each failure a stepping stone to future success. This shift in perspective is crucial because it frees you from the fear of failure, which is one of the greatest limitations many people face. Fear of failure paralyzes them, preventing them from taking the necessary actions to achieve their dreams. But when you see failure as part of the process rather than the end, you unlock the freedom to try, to experiment, to push beyond your boundaries. The power of mindset also lies in its ability to keep you focused on your vision. When you know what you want and firmly believe that you can achieve it, you create an unshakable foundation upon which your dreams can be built. It is this mindset that keeps you moving forward even when the road gets tough, when doubts creep in, and when the temptation to quit feels overwhelming. Your mindset shapes your reality. It determines whether you rise above your limits or remain confined by them. If you train your mind to see success as inevitable, to view challenges as fuel for growth, and to believe that you are capable of achieving anything, you will find that the limits you once thought were impossible to overcome are actually within your reach. The only thing standing between you and greatness is the mindset you choose to adopt today. Too many people hold themselves back, not because they lack the talent or skills required to succeed, but because they are constantly making excuses. Excuses have become a shield, a way to justify inaction and to avoid taking responsibility for one's own growth. We all face challenges in life. Circumstances that may not be ideal, people who doubt us, and moments when we feel overwhelmed. But it is not these external factors that determine our success. It is our response to them. The habit of making excuses is one of the greatest barriers to unlocking your true potential. We often tell ourselves that we don't have the right resources, the right background, or the right support to achieve our dreams. We convince ourselves that now isn't the right time, that we're too young, too old, or too inexperienced. These excuses hold us back and keep us from taking the steps necessary to move forward. But the truth is that the right time will never come on its own, and the perfect circumstances will never magically appear. Success doesn't wait for everything to align perfectly. It's created through action, perseverance, and the decision to keep going in the face of uncertainty. When we stop making excuses and start taking responsibility for our own lives, we begin to see just how much power we actually have. No one else is responsible for your success except you. External factors can influence your journey, but they should never dictate the outcome. The moment you take full responsibility for your choices, your actions, and your results, you unlock a new level of control over your life. Instead of looking for reasons why something can't be done, you begin to look for ways to make it happen. This shift in mindset is vital for rising above your limits. It means that you stop waiting for someone to give you permission, stop waiting for the perfect opportunity, and stop waiting for circumstances to change. You realize that your future is not dependent on the hand you were dealt, but on how you play the cards you have. By eliminating excuses, you are free to act, to take risks, and to push through the challenges that come your way. When you take responsibility, you also embrace the reality that progress is not always easy. There will be times when things don't go as planned, when you face setbacks, and when it feels like the road is too difficult. However, in those moments, responsibility means that you don't blame others or make excuses for your lack of progress. Instead, you look inward and ask yourself, what can I do to move forward? This mindset shift turns every obstacle into an opportunity for growth. Success is reserved for those who are willing to stop making excuses and start making choices. The world is full of people who could achieve greatness but never will, simply because they allow excuses to control their lives. But those who rise above their limits are the ones who take responsibility, take action, and refuse to let anything, no matter how difficult, to stand in their way. Your potential is limitless, but it is up to you to stop making excuses and start creating the life you deserve. Talent alone is not enough to reach greatness. In fact, talent without discipline is often wasted potential. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It is what turns dreams into reality. While talent may give you a head start, it is discipline that sustains you and ensures your success in the long run. Discipline is the ability to stay committed to your goals, even when motivation wanes, and the ability to keep going when it feels easier to give up. It's what enables you to keep working day after day, pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, even when the results are not immediately visible. Building discipline is not a one-time effort. It is a continuous practice, a habit that needs to be cultivated every single day. It requires you to set clear goals, create a plan, and follow through, regardless of the challenges you encounter along the way. Discipline means showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It means staying focused on your mission and resisting the distractions that lie. For many, the lack of discipline is the reason they don't achieve their dreams. They might have the talent or the vision, but without the consistency to execute their plan, their efforts fall short. Discipline ensures that you don't get distracted by temporary pleasures or become discouraged by short-term failures. It trains your mind to stay focused on the bigger picture, even when the smaller tasks seem insignificant. One of the key aspects of discipline is its ability to keep you moving forward even when progress is slow or difficult. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like. But discipline teaches you patience. It reminds you that success is a journey, not a sprint. It teaches you that every step, no matter how small, is still a step closer to your goal. When you're disciplined, you don't measure success by the speed of your progress, but by the consistency of your efforts. Discipline also involves sacrificing immediate gratification for long-term success. It means choosing the hard path today for a better tomorrow. This could mean sacrificing time with friends to work on your personal development, foregoing temporary pleasures to focus on building your future, or making tough decisions that may not feel comfortable in the moment but will pay off in the long run. The disciplined person understands that every action has a consequence, and they are willing to delay immediate satisfaction for greater rewards in the future. It's discipline that transforms potential into achievement. It is the force that turns dreams into reality, that turns intentions into actions, and that turns goals into accomplishments. Without discipline, talent is like a car without fuel. It may look good, but it won't take you anywhere. To rise above your limits, you must develop the discipline to push through every obstacle, to remain consistent in your efforts, and to commit to the long-term journey of success. Discipline is the key that unlocks the door to your greatest potential. Fear is a powerful force that can hold us back from achieving greatness. It is an invisible barrier that keeps us confined within the limits of our own potential. The fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown can be paralyzing, and it is often the root cause of why people never push beyond their comfort zones. However, fear is not something that should be avoided or ignored. Rather, it should be understood and confronted. In fact, fear can be one of the most powerful catalysts for growth and achievement when you learn to face it head-on. Most people let fear control their decisions, allowing it to dictate their actions and prevent them from taking risks. They hold themselves back from pursuing their dreams because they are afraid of making mistakes, failing, or facing rejection. They fear that their efforts won't be good enough, or that they will be judged for their shortcomings. But the reality is that fear is a natural part of the journey to success. Everyone who has achieved greatness has experienced fear at some point in their lives. What separates those who rise above their limits from those who stay stuck is how they respond to that fear. Fear becomes a problem when it is allowed to dictate our choices, when we allow it to hold us back and stop us from taking the necessary risks to grow. But when you learn to face fear rather than run from it, you gain power over it. Fear is only as strong as you let it be. It thrives on uncertainty and doubt. But once you confront it and challenge it, you can diminish its hold on you. Every time you take action in spite of fear, you build confidence and prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming obstacles. Failure is often the thing people fear most, yet it is through failure that we learn the most valuable lessons. Failure is not the end, it is simply a part of the process. Every successful person has encountered failure, but instead of seeing it as defeat, they view it as a stepping stone. Failure provides feedback, teaching us what doesn't work so we can adjust our approach and keep moving forward. When you embrace failure as a necessary part of the growth process, fear of failure loses its power. You stop seeing failure as something to avoid and start seeing it as an opportunity to improve and become better. In fact, the most successful people are often those who have failed the most. They understand that failure is inevitable on the path to success, but they also know that it is through perseverance and resilience that they can ultimately succeed. Fear of failure can no longer stop them because they understand that success is built on the lessons learned from failure. Fear also creates an illusion of what might go wrong, but rarely does it reflect the true reality. Most of the time, the things we fear never actually happen. The fear of failure is often worse than the failure itself. The more you step into fear, the more you realize that it is often exaggerated and unfounded. The act of confronting and overcoming fear builds strength, resilience, and self-belief, all of which are necessary for success. To rise above your limits, you must learn to move forward despite your fear. You must take action even when you don't feel fully prepared, and trust that you have the strength to handle whatever challenges come your way. Fear is not the enemy. It is an indication that you are growing, that you are stepping into new territory, and that you are capable of achieving things you once thought were beyond your reach. When you stop letting fear control your actions, you unlock your true potential and realize that nothing is truly impossible. Success is not a passive process. It requires action. Far too many people spend their lives dreaming, wishing, and hoping for success, but they fail to take the critical steps necessary to achieve it. Dreams remain just that. Dreams, unless you take action to bring them to life. This is where many fall short. They wait for the right moment, the right opportunity, or the perfect set of circumstances to appear. But the truth is that success doesn't wait for anyone. You have to take responsibility and make the decision to act now, not later. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the willingness to take consistent, purposeful action toward their goals. One of the most important things to understand about success is that it doesn't happen by accident. You don't stumble upon greatness. You create it through the choices you make and the actions you take every single day. Every successful person has made a conscious decision to pursue their dreams relentlessly, despite the obstacles and setbacks that inevitably come their way. Success requires you to push through the moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. It demands that you keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it, even when it seems impossible. The people who rise above their limits are the ones who refuse to give up, who understand that success is built on consistent action, not just good intentions. Taking action means making the commitment to do whatever it takes, regardless of how difficult or uncomfortable it may seem. It means getting out of your comfort zone, putting in the hard work, and staying dedicated to your vision, even when the road gets tough. This doesn't mean taking reckless or impulsive actions, but rather making strategic decisions and consistently following through on them. It means breaking down your larger goals into smaller, manageable steps and tackling them one by one. Success is not achieved by taking one giant leap. It is achieved through many small, purposeful steps taken consistently over time. Taking action also means making the decision to stop making excuses. Excuses are the enemy of progress. When you take action, you are no longer focused on why something can't be done or why you can't succeed. Instead, you are focused on finding solutions, overcoming challenges, and moving forward despite the difficulties. The fear of failure, the doubts, the insecurities, they all become irrelevant when you make the decision to take action. Success is a result of the choices you make every day. And by taking action, you are choosing to create the life you desire. Taking action also involves a willingness to fail and learn. It is easy to hesitate or procrastinate because we fear making mistakes. But failure is an essential part of the process. When you take action, you may stumble, but you also learn valuable lessons from your failures. These lessons provide you with the insights and wisdom you need to improve and ultimately succeed. The key is to keep moving forward, even after a failure, because each failure brings you one step closer to success. It's important to understand that action creates momentum. Once you start taking steps toward your goals, even small ones, you begin to build momentum that carries you forward. The hardest part is often getting started. But once you take that first step, the next ones become easier. Momentum gives you the energy and drive to keep going, and before you know it, you are making significant progress toward achieving your dreams. To rise above all limits, you must take action. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances. Your dreams will not come to life on their own. It's up to you to take the necessary steps, to push through the fear and doubt, and to commit to the journey of creating the life you want. Success is within your reach, but it's only attainable through action.